SA Tourism, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. 25 years ago, the people of our beautiful country and the world celebrated the birth of South Africa's constitutional democracy, the ascendance of our icon Nelson Mandela to the high position of President of the democratic South Africa inspired hope, not only for our country, but for the rest of the world, that indeed good can triumph over evil. It is therefore fitting that as I stand here before you today, we are celebrating Mandela Month under the theme Action Against Poverty. This is a fitting theme given the task before us to overcome the triple challenges of unemployment, poverty, and inequality that beset our country. Hence, we are making a call that says, working together we can grow the economy through tourism. Tourism has an important role to play in placing our economy on sustainable, inclusive growth trajectory. Globally, tourism has demonstrated a high growth rate that any person, any other sector, with arrivals in emerging economies up to 2030 projected to grow at double the rate of advanced economies. Locally, the growth of tourism sector has been a boon for our economy. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, the 2018 contribution for the tourism sector in South Africa directly accounted for 2.8% of real GDP, which amounts to 139 billion, and this is projected to grow to 145.3 billion for 2019. The indirect contribution of the tourism sector to our economy's GDP in 2018 stood at an even higher 8.2%, which captures the strong economic links to the demand and supply side that the sector has with the other sectors of the South African economy. In addition, honorable members, the tourism sector direct employment accounted for 4.2% of total employment in the South African economy in 2018, and this is projected to increase to 709,000 jobs in 2019. While tourism's indirect contribution to total employment stood at 9.2% for 2018. A sustainable tourism economy requires balanced performance in respect of both international and domestic tourism. In his State of the Nation address, President Ramaphosa outlined an ambitious target for more than doubling our international arrivals to 21 million by 2030. To achieve this international arrival target, the growth rate of international arrivals needs to increase to over 4% in the short run and be maintained in excess of 6% until 2030. Setswana sare, moyeng goroga re je ka wena. While our international arrivals have grown over the last 2 decades, our share of the global 1.4 billion international tourism arrivals in 2018 leaves room for significant international market growth. Our current share of the large outbound markets such as China, India, and Nigeria is low. Stats SA reports that South Africa attracted an estimated 96,000 tourists from China in 2018 and managed to attract 93,000 tourists from India. And for the same period, similarly, we managed to attract about 53,000 tourists from Nigeria. This gives us a great opportunity to increase our market penetration in these large outbound tourist markets globally, with great prospects for growing the number of international tourists. And therefore, our renewed focus in this market, we are projecting that our efforts will generate an increase in the share of international arrivals to South Africa from China to over 9% of our total international tourist composition. We also project an increase of the share of international arrivals from India to over 7% of our total international tourist composition. To achieve this, honorable members, will position South Africa as a China and India-friendly tourism destination through relevant content-reviewed platforms and comprehensive China and India readiness program developed in close partnership with the private sector. We plan to use technological platforms such as WeChat Alipay for ease of access to the Chinese markets. Establishing an air transport link between South Africa and India will receive our utmost attention. We'll be engaging with various airlines to explore this possibility. In 2018, honorable members, South Africa recorded a total arrivals figure of 7.8 million from within the African continent, which represent the largest percentage of international arrivals to South Africa. We'll create and share first-hand information to promote South Africa. Initiatives that we'll be driving will include partnering with online travel agencies, targeting the leisure market, partnership with South African product owners to drive affordable family packages, and delegate boosting at exhibition association meetings and business chambers. The European market remains an important market for us as the tourism sector. Visitors from Europe can easily get visas that allow them to stay in South Africa for 90 days, and the closeness of the time zone between South Africa and European countries are actually one of the areas that makes it a destination for choice for the European visitors. We shall do our very best to ensure that we remove all obstacles for tourists to enjoy their journey to South Africa. In this regard, we are happy to report that the recent visa waiver for Russia and Angola had a positive impact on the number of international travelers who graced our shores. We are also encouraged with the announcement made by Minister Motsoaledi that South Africa's new e-visa system is expected to be launched within this financial year. This demonstrates that close collaboration between the two departments can lead to a positive economic impact, which augurs well with priorities for the 6th administration of working together to grow our economy. As we anticipated, honorable members, as we anticipate an increase in foreign tourist arrivals, we are aware that their primary concerns are safety and security. Addressing safety and security, we are at an advanced stage of developing the National Tourism Safety Strategy, working with the SAPs, provinces, local government, and members of the sector. And I must report that yesterday at the MINMEC, MECs did indicate that we have to make sure that we respond faster on this issue. In response to some of the issues raised with me by tourists on social media platforms and other interactions, we are also engaging the private sector to work with us to make our country an attractive destination. For example, access to broadband connectivity has become a basic need for the world's population, and in light of some of the challenges in this area, we are engaging with mobile network operators to make broadband accessible so that all those who visit our destinations are able to be able to make a call and send an email. And further, we are also engaging them to make SIM cards easily accessible to those who do not wish to roam while enjoying their holidays in our country. Ka Sepedi se re re, lesogana le le sa etego le nyala kgaetšedi. Domestic tourism remains under strain, and its potential is yet to be fully exploited. This is because of several challenges on both the supply side and the demand side. On the supply side, challenges include inflexible product offering and competitive pricing. The poor performance of our economy and rising cost of living has had a negative impact, honorable members, on the demand side of domestic travel. Equally, fellow South Africans, our relatively poor contribution of domestic tourism relates to a history where unrestricted mobility and travel were the privilege of a few. In the next few weeks, honorable members, we'll be aggressive in our strategy, working with provinces and all other stakeholders to increase and make sure that South Africans travel their own country. We are saying to South Africans, you are not fated to labor without rest. We would like to say to them that the beauty of the landscapes, our rich cultural diversity, and our heritage from ancient city of Mapungube to Robben Island, from the Kgalagadi to Makhonjwa Mountains, is our common property from which all of us must feed to nurture our humanity. Simply put, honorable members, let's all become tourists. We will be partnering with private sector to create programs to market a diversity of travel packages for South Africa for all ages and from all walks of life. I must say, honorable members, look out for an exciting campaign that is coming on the domestic market, which in due course will be launched, which we will be announcing one with the retail sector that is aimed at creating opportunities for South Africans to travel their country. We invite as well the financial services sector to support the tourism sector by creating financial products such as travel for Stokvels that will enable South Africans to save for travel and to make available travel packages that will make traveling more affordable for lower to middle income population group. Ladies and gentlemen, we also intend establishing a national tourism visitor and information management system that will, among other things, provide an affordable booking and transaction system and market access for a range of tourist facilities. Globally, countries celebrate the 27th of September annually as Tourism Day. Domestic tourism activities and activations take place during the month of September to highlight the critical role of tourism in growing the economy and developing critical skills for the sector. We are looking forward to more South Africans joining us in this campaign. Honorable members, the department will continue to implement programs aimed at growing our economy and development of capabilities of South Africans across the tourism value chain. Work is underway to develop a comprehensive tourism infrastructure plan in anticipation of future growth of the sector. Under this project, 4 tourism master plans will be developed. That is in Port St. John to Coffee Bay, Hornetlap Bay to Port Norloth, Sutherland to Carnarvon, Orange River Mouth to Fuels Drift. We will intensify our efforts to accelerate economic transformation and job creation through the development of tourism enterprises. In this connection, the department has continued to implement enterprise development programs to transform the sector and provide development support to rural tourism enterprise over the medium term. The program comprises hub-based tourism incubation support and off-site national support for SMMEs. The establishment of the Tourism Incubation Program, honorable members, has been identified as one of the elements of the Enterprise Development and Support Program. In 2017, 4 incubators were established in the following areas: Bilanisberg in Bojanala District, Manyeleti in Entlanzeni District, Palaborwa under Mopani District, and Mir under ZF Mgao District. We will also implement the SANParks Contractor Incubator in the following national parks: Kruger National Park, Ado National Park, Marakele National Park, Golden Gate, and Kgalagadi National Park. SMME and cooperative from communities around the parks will be incubated to enable them to set up sustainable projects. Through the Green Tourism Incentive Program, we aim to encourage tourism enterprise to move towards sustainable management of water and energy resources. As part of responsible tourism practice, overall, we are steadily increasing activities in the tourism sector that aimed at mitigating climate change. Another program that we've got is the Tourism Transformation Fund that we do in collaboration with NEF, which was introduced in 2016. We have looked at this program, we are identifying the weaknesses, and we are working on rebranding and together reconfiguring the program. The department will continue to implement the Working for Tourism program through the EPWP. In the last financial year, about 3,000 full-time equivalent jobs were achieved. This financial year, we are aiming to achieve 4,331 full-time equivalent jobs. We are acknowledging the challenges that has been in this program, and we believe that we've passed with that bridge. We are also mindful of the fact that disruptive technologies of the fourth industrial revolutions are upon us, and we will be working together with the Fourth Industrial Revolution Commission established by the President to look at the impact to our sector. Transformation in the sector remains a big challenge, and it is an area that will continue to receive our attention. Transformation programs will focus on 5 priority areas, namely ownership, management control, skills development, enterprise and supplier development, as well as socio-economic development. We are proud to say that the Women in Tourism program is one of our flagship programs that has been doing very well. And we believe that learning from such initiatives will be able to build on a solid foundation for other programs. I therefore call upon all the sector to join us and embrace tourism transformation in the sector. And also appreciate TOMSA as an initiative that has done very well, that is initiated by the sector. We'll continue to work closely with the Tourism Business Council of South Africa and other stakeholders to deliver on the mandate of 21 million targets. Honorable members, it is important to indicate that we currently have the draft tourism amendment bill, which is under public comments. It was approved by Cabinet, gazetted, and we have now extended the time to the 15th of July 2019. We actually aim to complete this bill within this financial year. The department will work on the development of a 5-year strategic plan that will inform the overall tourism agenda for the 6th administration. SA Tourism will continue to implement its marketing activities to promote South Africa. Honorable members, the department's budget allocation for 2019-2020 is 2.393 billion, of which 1.554 billion is for transfers and subsidies. It is important to note that 53% of the budget goes to SAT. The department has received baseline increase of 6.67 million over the MTF period for EPWP incentives, and also has experienced a baseline reduction of 33.2 million for the tourism incentive program within the MTF period, and also 54.8 million baseline reduction for SA tourism within the MTF period. These baseline reductions, honorable members, are as a result of the constrained fiscus and sustained poor performance of the South African economy. The journey to economic recovery will not be easy, but working together, we can grow our economy. In the words of former Ghanaian President Kwame Nkrumah, who said, I quote, "Countrymen, the task ahead is great indeed, and heavy is the responsibility. And yet it is a noble and glorious challenge, a challenge which calls for the courage to dream, the courage to believe, the courage to dare, the courage to do, the courage to envision, the courage to fight, the courage to work, the courage to achieve the highest excellencies and the fullest greatness of men. Dare we ask for more in life," unquote. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Deputy Minister Fish Mahlalela for the support, the chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee. Also thank the Director General of the department and the entire staff actually for their warm welcome into the portfolio and the broad sector. We are also here, members, to say, if we can join hands together and work as partners, we will be able to grow the economy through tourism. Honorable members, I hereby table budget vote number 33 from the Department of Tourism together with priorities for financial year 2019-2020. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Mahoma Pilo, you're the next. Order, honorable members.
The Honorable House Chairperson, the Minister, Comrade Mamolo Gungubani, and Comrade Deputy Minister Fish Mahlalela, the collective members of the Committee on Tourism, we are also taking this responsibility to acknowledge among ourselves the chairperson of SAT, Ms. Yako, ladies and gentlemen, and South Africans who are paying attention to this particular debate. Gompieno ke letsatsi la matsalo la ga Solomon Mahlangu. Solomon Mahlangu rotlhe re a itse ba gaetse gore ke o mongwe wa dikgatlhamela masisi tsa kgaratlho kgolo tseneledi ya rona ya bosetšhaba mo nageng ya rona ya Aforika Borwa. Rotlhe re a itse gore Solomon Mahlangu o na ineela go lwela kgololosego go fitlhella mmuso wa tlhaolele o mo tseela botshelo jo bo ka kwano. Re ne re ra moa wa gagwe o robale ka kagiso. Re le komiti re kopane ra dumalana ka bongwe fela jwa pelo gore lidile la lefapha e leng dibilione di le 2.3 re tshwanetse ra netefatsa gore re dirisana le lefapha gore lidile le dirisiwe sentle. Mo tirisanong ya lefapha re tle go dirisana gape le South African tourism. Me ha re ne re dumalana re le komiti re ne re sa mo mamelong re shebisisitse mabaka a leng gore ka fa tlase ga ona go tshwanetse ga nna le tsamaiso e ya go netefatsa gore bojanala bo a natlafatsa mo nageng ya rona ya Aforika Borwa. Selo sa ntlha batlotlegi seo re ne ra se shebisisa ke gore go ya ka mokgatlho wa tsamaiso ya bojanala mo lefatsheng naga e leng gore ka setlhoeng ke go etelwa mo lehatsheng ke naga ya Spain. Selo sa bobedi seo re ne ra se shebisisa seo se tswang ko World Travel and Tourism Council ke gore bojanala ke engwe ya karolo ya ikonomi e golang ka lebelo le le gaisang mo botshelong. Selo sa boraro seo se ne ra se shebisisa ke gore go ya ka World Economic Forum Travel and Tourism Competitive Index, rona re le Aforika Borwa mo dinageng di le 136, rona re mo maemong a 53. Yaanong ke engwe a mabaka re ne ra shebisisa gore a tshwanetse ra shebisisa jaaka komiti go ya pele re dirisana le lefapha. Selo seo gape re dumelaneng ka sone ke gore molaotheo e tla nna pilara yeo re tla itshegang ka yona go le tiro ya rona jaaka komiti. Yaanong re buile re le komiti gore rona ha re batle go tshwana le dilakgaka dinwamoro tse leng gore ha di rate kgaka mme di rata moro wa kgakae. Ibile re dumalane gape gore ga re go nna batho ba ba itshela moriti o tsididi ka dikgwetlho tseo re ka tswang re lebagane le tsona re le naga. Jaanong re ne re bue bagaetso re tlhamalatsa mo pepeneneng gore seo re ratang go se fitlhelela re le naga ya Aforika Borwa ke go aga Aforika Borwa o kopaneng wa democracy a sa tlhaole batho ka mmala, bong le nonotso ya ikonomi go tswela baagi botlhe mosola. Re dumalana le wena minister wa rona gore ha re dirisana mmogo re tla kgona go fitlhella tseo re ikaeletseng go di fitlhella. Tsela kgopo ga e latse nageng e re tsamayang tsela ke a motsopodia mme re matlafetse go fitlhella maitlhomo le maikaelelo magolo a rona. Jaanong re ne re itsise setšhaba re le komiti gape ba gaetse gore bao ba tleng gore loma serota ha dingwaga di ntse dia ba tshwanetse ba fitlhela e le gore kgang ya bojanala re ba kantse rona bao ba tlileng pele ga bona tshelong jo bo ka kwano. ke ka ntlha ye re leng komiti re dumalane ka bongwe fela jwa pele gore ha re sena re dira tiro e re e dirang e tshwanetse ya bontsha tota gore re tlhaloganya sentle ha Motswana re kgaka kgolo ga kena mebala e dikgakaneng ra be re raeng gore bao batlang ko morago ga rona ba kgone go ungwelwa maungo ao re a jala mo letsatsi la gompieno. Seo re se dira re tshwaragane ka bongwe fela jwa pelo le lefapha jaaka ke setse ke tlhalositse. Bajanala ha ba tla ka kwano mo nageng ya rona e nngwe ya dilo tse e leng gore ba tshwanetse ba itumelela tsona ke tshireletsego ya bona ka kwano mo nageng. Jaanong re dubalane ka bongwe fela jwa pelo re le komiti gore ikete lefapha le ka dirisana le lefapha la rona la tshireletso gore bajanala ba rona ba tle ba nne ka tshireletsego mo nageng ya rona ya Afrika Borwa ga ba setse ba tlile ka kwano go tlo go itumelela tseo re di dirang jaaka naga. Jaanong le tla gopola ba gaetsho gore ha re ne re kopane ko komiting e nngwe ya mabaka a tlhagisitseng gore go nne jaaka ikete bontsi jwa bajanala ha ba tle ka kwano mo nageng ya rona Afrika Borwa ke magatwe-gatwe a tlhakatlhakano e ka iwang gore gongwe ka tlhagalela mabapi le kgang tsa mafatshe. Jaanong re ne re kganya lefatshe ba gaetso re tlhamalatse gore ke mosekaphofu a gabo yo a sa tsweng lentswe. Jaanong mabaka a marataro a e leng gore ke ne ke re ke a tlhalose ka bokhutshwane fela re tshwantseng ra tlhalosetsa ba o iketeng ba na le ketsaetsego ya go tla mo nageng ya rona ya Afrika Borwa jaaka bajanala e tsamaisana le kgang ya lefatshe. Lebaka la ntlha ke gore rona ma Afrika Borwa re batho ba ba dirang dilo ka maikarabelo. Lebaka la bobedi ke gore jaaka tautona se tsa tlhalositse maloba rona re le Afrika Borwa re sala morago molaotheo. Lebaka la boraro ke gore kganye ya lehatshe re tle go e dira ka mokgwa wa go netefatsa gore go nna le poelano phodiso le ntšhafatso ya naga ya rona ya Afrika Borwa. Lebaka la bone ke a gore re kgone go momaganya baagi ba rona ba Afrika Borwa go sa kgathalesege mmala a bone. Lebaka la botlhano ke gore re tshwanetse ra netefatsa gore manukunoko a wa tlhageletseng baagi ba rona dingwageng tsa maloba tse di fetileng ra fedisa. Mme la borataro ke la go fedisa botlhoki go sa lekalekane le go sa nne le ditiro mo nageng ya rona. Yaanong re tle go le kopa ba gaetso gore ha re bua le bajanala ba ba ratang go tla kwa mo nageng ya rona Afrika Borwa re se ka ra dira dilo tse di neng di dirwa ke mona mongwe wa go Fenisdopo leina la gagwe ke Terablanche o e ne a re ditlhopho di le gaufi ka ngwaga 1994 o nantsha lentswe la gore basweu ba tseye dinama le ditlhapi le metsi ba di tseye ba di beye ka ntlha gore ntwa e le mo tseleng. Yaanong selo seo se ne se biwa ke ntate Terablanche le ba bangwe ga se se ke se diragale. Yaanong go na le batho ba ba tshosang batho ka kgang ya lefatshe gore go tle go diragala ka mokgwa o Terablanche a ne a bua ka teng. Yaanong ne re baagi ba rena ba itse gore selo seo sa go tshwana hela le se Terablanche o naeletsa gore se diragale sa gore go nne le tlhakatlhakano ga go nna le tlhakatlhakano ya mofuta ope kapa ope mo nageng ya rona. Sedikwa ke ntšapedi ga se thata. Re dumalane re le komiti gore re kope mokhuduthamaga gore e re ha dirisana le mafapha a mangwe a buisane le bone gore ba leke gore sengwe le sengwe seo ba se dirang se nne le kganye ya bojanalae. Selo se seng seo re se kopang motlotlegi ke gore ha re buisana ka kganye ya bojanalae a re leke gore se ka nna ditoropo tse ditona fela bo Gauteng bo Durban bo Pretoria le ditoropo tse dintse ditona re netefatse gore kganye ya bojanalae ya tsenella go thusa baagi ba rona ba metse magae metsesetoropo le ditorotswana ka ntlha gore go ya ka tsamaiso le tshedimosetso ya Statistics South Africa batho ba e leng gore ba tlhoka go feta mo nageng ya rona ke baagi ba rona ba kwa magaeng mme re tshwanetse ra leka gore re ba thusa re dumalane ministera gore Howick Falls le mafelo a mangwe a kgatlhego mo nageng ya rona re leke gore re di tlhokomele di sika di anda ka mokgwa o iketeng di wela ka tlase ka teng mo tumalanong ya rona re le komiti gape re dumalane minister re le seboka gore kamano magareng ga rona e tla nna kamano e edileng yaanong gore batho ba tle ba nkutlwe sentle ke tla e bala ka sekgwae. In the execution of our mandate as a committee, the relationship between the portfolio committee and the department will be uncomplicated, unco-optable, uncompromising, and reciprocative oversight system. That is what we are going to be applying when we engage with the department. Eric Nopole Mokwadi Falina Lake Anita Septimus. Anita Are, you don't choose the day you enter the world, and you don't choose the day you leave the world. It's what you do in between that makes all the difference. Ke Anita o ke a leboga motsamaisa tiro wa letsatsi la gompieno.
A leboga mhlomphehi Mahomapelo. Honorable De Freitas, you're the next.
Thank you, Chair.
Order, honorable members.
As member of the Portfolio Committee of Tourism, I'm very excited to be part of this exciting Portfolio Committee and we look forward to exciting things in the next year at least. Within the sector, 1.5 and 1.4 million jobs have been created in 2017 and 2018, respectively. In each case, this accounts for more than 9% of total employment. Tourism directly contributes 2.9 to South Africa's GDP, to 2.9% of GDP's GDP of South Africa in 2016, according to the latest release of Stats SA's tourism report. This makes the tourism sector a larger contributor than, for example, agriculture. Tourism has added just over 40,000 net new jobs to the economy over the period of 2012 to 2016. And this is higher and created more jobs than industries such as that of electricity, gas and water. Tourism sector workforce numbers well over 600,000 employees. This outnumbers mining, which numbers over 400,000 employees. So in other words, presently, 1 in every 23 employed person in South Africa is employed within the tourism sector. However, much more needs to be done as tourism is an easy win for economic growth and job creation. Why do I say this? Because we're not growing at the rate that we should be, as at the rate that the Minister in fact explained. Last year, South Africa struggled to meet its domestic and international tourist targets. In 2018-19, international arrivals dropped by 0.6% compared to the same period in 2017. In 2018, South Africa welcomed 6.7 million tourists from outside our borders, and this is much less than the 11.2 million target that South African tourism has set. The reasons for this is clear. The need for unabridged birth certificates for minors, concerns about safety and security, and visa issues are deterrent for traveling to South Africa. The inconsistencies of requirements of visa documents, the complicated and often user-unfriendly processes and length of time in issuing our visas have tourists traveling to destinations that require less red tape or are even visa-free. Important countries such as China and India have a growing and high-spending market that is large enough to warrant a focused China and India tourism strategy. However, SA Tourism has an ad hoc approach when dealing with these markets. I'm encouraged and I look forward to the Minister's words and her changing this. In the SONA speech last month, President Ramaphosa stated that government has set a target, very ambitiously, of international tourist arrivals of 21 million by the year 2030. At this rate, it'll be another target that hasn't been met, admitted as well by the Minister today. The President stated that they'll achieve this the renewal of the country's brand, including a world-class visa regime, and a significant focus on Chinese and Indian markets as they arrived at our continent. He further stated that the government is determined to make sure that tourists are safe. All these are important to make sure that that the tourism targets are met. These issues can only be resolved if tourism works closely with other departments and the private sector. Until there is coordination between all concerned stakeholders, these issues will simply not be resolved. We'll observe this with laser focus to ensure that all this happens. The fact that the CEO of SA Tourism has been suspended and, according to media reports, hasn't been formally charged or even personally advised of any misdemeanors is most concerning. How is it possible that our modern labour environment we find such practices? The Minister needs to account to us on this and needs to reach a conclusion urgently so that stability can be returned to this entity. The Tourism Amendment Bill will now encourages that the Minister can specify certain thresholds for short-term home rentals. These thresholds might, but it's unclear, include limitations on the number of nights guests may stay in a short-term rental, how much income the hosts may earn, and how many guests they may have in an area. The Tourism Department justifies these thresholds on the basis that it allows everyone to get their fair share. In essence, a type of forced redistribution of choice from consumers who choose some hospitality providers to others. In reality, short-term rentals like Airbnb has enabled people previously unable to make a living for themselves to do so with their existing assets. Now a family, or even a gogo in a township, for example, a township and any actually small dorpy that the chair of the committee was talking about, and rural areas, can generate income by renting out a room in their home, making them instant entrepreneurs without having to lay out lots of capital that they already don't have in the first place. Ride-sharing platforms like Uber did the same by opening a whole new market to people in the transport industry. Tourism in South Africa remains a strong economic sector, which services such as Airbnb has benefited significantly by offering far greater choice in location and price to tourists and allowing ordinary South Africans to become instant entrepreneurs. Research in September 2018 suggested that 2 million guests have made use of Airbnb alone in South Africa since the platform started in South Africa. This translates into over 3.8 billion in revenue for hosts and 9.9 billion rand in broader economic activity. Also, at the same time, supporting well over 22,000 jobs. The guests mostly wish to experience specific neighborhoods, such as townships, rural areas, the small towns that are often forgotten, meaning that location-based Airbnb regulation has the potential to undermine the entire market. Indeed, the fastest-growing destinations in the world presently are in Africa. Given South Africa's poor economic growth trajectory, now is not the time to introduce more regulation on the economy. Instead, the economy should be allowed to breathe. Entrepreneurs, particularly those in townships, must be able to be free to use their assets as revenue generators without being unduly undermined by the state. Together, we can reach our common vision of growing tourism in South Africa, and we look forward to doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Tate Chabaku can take the podium.
Honorable Chair, let me also borrow the words from the Englishman who once said, protocol observed. Minister, the tourism industry which your department oversees offer a lot of potential for economic development and job creation. But like much of the economy, the tourism industry remains in the hands of the white minority. If the industry was properly managed and your department took the necessary steps, then the true economy potential of this industry could easily be realized and built on. We have consistently argued in this parliament year after year that if you want to fundamentally transform the tourism industry and unlock its true potential, we must also deal with the question of the land ownership. Tourists come from all corners of the world to see and experience our wildlife, our oceans, our mountains, and our diverse and rare plant species in the Karoo and the Cape. But who owns the land with all those flowers in Namakwa land? And how is that of benefit to the majority of the unemployed and the landless in Namakwa land? Who owns the wine farms which tourists visit? And how is this of benefit to the people of the farm workers of the wine lands? Who owns the private game reserve in Mpumalanga and Limpopo, and how are these of any benefit to the people of the surroundings area? The reality is that the land on which these flowers are grown, the land of which the hotels and B&Bs are built, and the land on which private games reserves are located are still owned by a small white minority. The same white minority who have asserted their control over the economy and country for over 350 years. These white owners are doing nothing to empower our black people in the tourist industry and are underpaid, overworked, deprived of benefits, casualized, and just like in the rest of the economy, are viewed as nothing more than expendable cheap labor. In the restaurants of Cape Town, you hear of workers forced to work 7 days a week below minimum wage and without contracts. In the coastal cities and private game reserve of our people are exploited by white bosses who can fire them at any point. The tourist industry does little for black people in this country except entrench their exploitation. So why is your department, Minister, doing nothing, and why do we find no substantive solution in your department's annual performance plan and budget votes? But the exploitation of our people is not the only area that needs to be transformed when we talk about the tourism sector. We desperately need to expand our tourist roads and raise the profile and importance of culture heritage tourism in this country. This department has done little to promote heritage roads and sites in the former homelands, which are rich in natural beauty, but are also steeped in history. Why is your department doing so little to improve and elevate heritage roads in the Eastern Cape? For instance, that would show the history of the resistance in that province for over a period of 100 years. The Afrikaners built their four-tracker monument after they trekked across the country and dispossessed our people of their land. Why are we not doing the same and promoting and celebrating our unique culture and heritage? Why is there no monument at the gravesite of Maqoma, one of the greatest African leaders who resisted colonialism? Why is no worthy tourist attraction at the location where the Battle of Isandlwana took place? These sites and their history must be promoted, and our people must be at the forefront of the development of black people, particularly women must own their B&Bs, they must own their restaurant, they must own their tourist center and shops, and the department must support them. Tourists, both locally and internationally, must visit these sites and areas and learn of our storied past. This will pump money into the local economy, creation jobs and economic growth. Your department must start and support such initiatives. And when we talk about support, we mean subsidies, loans, access to land, licenses, and advertising both locally and internationally. From top to bottom, the entire tourism industry and value chain must be transformed and reimagined. Our people must be active participants and the primary beneficiaries, not simply exploited employees. We cannot continue to have a tourist which only adds value to the lives of the South Africans. In the past, this department has done nothing to transform the tourism industry. We hope that we'll do more in this regard, But until this commitment is reflected in the performance plans and budgets, we will reject this budget vote. Thank you.
Thank you,
On a
Honorable
point of
Secretary.
order, Chair. On a point of order, Chair. Papa go Naomi abanara go gopela bana. For once no re support but majunju a ona. Aka se bona re support man. You listen.
Honorable member, you can't just speak without being identified. I have to recognize you before you can speak. Honorable Stoller.
Honorable Chairperson, last week, the Sunday Times reported that Cape Town, our most premium tourism destination, was identified possibly becoming the world's most dangerous city. Furthermore, tourism in the Uku District municipality has been stifling due to the current drought it is experiencing. How does South Africa expect to encourage tourism when crime rates and the lack of adequate water planning and management have been spiraling out of control? With the 1.5 million jobs and 4 to 5.8 billion rand contributed to the economy in 2018, the tourism sector makes up 8.6% of the country's economic activity, as well as making our country the largest tourism economy on the continent. It is obvious that tourism is of paramount importance to our growth and economic development. The tourism sector alone contributes significantly to job creation, as well as generating significant increase in our gross domestic product. The tourism sector needs to not only be properly managed, but nurtured and safeguarded to ensure its economic viability and continued growth. South Africa has a disaster crime record, and yet government has the responsibility to ensure the safety of tourists when our people are not safe. Our murder rates in 2018 increased by 7% around the country last year, which set South African at 57 murderers per day, and rapes increases to 40035 cases a year. That does not include the murderers and rapes that goes unreported. How many tourists want to visit South Africa with these statistics when there is a high chance for them to fall victim to these violent crimes? The ANC politicians and ministers cannot assure other government of safety of their citizens visiting South Africa, as they do not even have a handle of crime in South Africa. We have been accustomed to seeing the link between party politicians, political violence, and gang-related crimes, among others. This lack of guidance can even be seen in President Ramaphosa's priorities, safe communities and social coalition, but does not go on to explain how he seeks to achieve this. The IFP is only the party that can provide leadership in this regard. And we recommended that government must implement violence prevention programs, such as those recommended by Morale Commission. The performance of SACP needs to be thoroughly and significantly improved, with a priority of the safety of citizens and tourists, in order to encourage the tourist sector that contribute vitally to our GDP. If you cannot ensure the safety of our own community and people, why would South African even be considered a worthwhile tourist destinations? As crime continue to plague our communities, the nightmare of no power and no water continued for many South Africans. According to Johannesburg Water Road, shedding has a disastrous impact on water supply as their pumps, which utilize electricity are severe harms to perform of their functions. To pump water, this is not only limited to Johannesburg, as it could take place through the country, with Uku, Jozini, Umzinyati, Zululand facing huge water shortage. The lack of planning to ensure Both power and water must simply be seen as a crime against the state. The impact of having no water or running of water restrictions condemns the community to realize the loss of jobs, income, poverty, and loss of tourism. Minister, we want to know that plans and strategy you have in place work with your colleagues and ministers in Department of Justice, Police, Water and Sanitation, Public Works, Mineral Resources and Energy and Environment to specify, negate the issues of crime and water shortage for the strategic development of tourism sectors. In fact, Minister, your colleagues in Cabinet are causing a shibobo for you as your department and its success.
Thank you very much,
dependent on
Honorable
this.
Stolen.
The IFP
Thank
do
you.
support the IFP do support the
Honorable the Deputy Minister of Tourism.
Honorable House Chair, Minister of Tourism, Honorable Mamluku Ngupai Ngubane, Members of Parliament, Director General, members of the SAT Board, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I receive with great humility the opportunity to address this august assemblage on the occasion of the debate on the budget and policy statement of the Department of Tourism. It is more humbling to stand on this podium at a time when our country is celebrating its 25th anniversary of democracy and freedom. This is an opportune moment which reflects that we embrace the thoughts of former President of Tanzania, Julius Nyerere, that if a door is shut, attempts should be made to open it. If it is ajar, it should be pushed until it is wide open. Close quote. We've opened our country's doors to democracy to realize the strategic objective that the late ANC President Oliver Tambo set for all of us when he instructed all in sundry that it is our responsibility to break down barriers of division and create a country where there is neither white nor black, just South Africans, free and united in diversity. Close quote. Mahatma Gandhi says, a nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the soul of its people. As a nation, our collective history, culture, and heritage define us as a people, and we need to cherish this because it positions us as one of the most attractive destinations in the world due to our diversity. If we are to attain economic objectives of a better life for all, we ought to cherish our history, culture, and heritage. Our efforts continue to bear fruits which have resulted in the steady growth of tourism since the adventure of our hard-fought democracy. We must continue to build up on our successes to ensure that tourism becomes a significant player in employment creation, inclusive growth, and development. We must ensure that tourism work for the people of South Africa gives full meaning to the thoughts that Frantz Fanon once said, that if the building of a bridge does not enrich the awareness of those who work for it, then the bridge ought not to be built. Close quote. So tourism must work for our people through employment creation, inclusive economic growth, and development. Through this budget, we share with you highlights of our readiness to reposition the destination and the brand, born out of collective commitment to grow tourism sector and carry the aspiration of millions of South Africans through a path of growth, recovery, and prosperity. As a service sector, our custom buys experiences, therefore, Driving excellence must be our habit. Our nation, spearheaded by our government, need to make a concerted effort to continuously increase the level of hospitality and friendliness and the general standards of service. We'll continue to champion our programs aimed at creating a culture of service excellence in order to ensure that services are rendered to the satisfaction of tourists. We have a responsibility to advance and protect the objectives of responsible citizen. Our country has demonstrated our appreciation of the importance of responsible tourism by bringing our country first in 1996 to include responsible tourism in the 1996 White Paper on Development and Promotion of Tourism in South Africa, which addresses the need to implement energy efficiency program in order to prepare our sector and our communities to deal with the effects of climate change. Tourism cannot be used as a tool to distract society, but it is a perfect instrument for sustainable development, social cohesion, and human development. We are the first ones to acknowledge that even though tourism is about human experiences, economic drive, and development, it must be cornerstone of the people. Ours is a business about and is for people. And it's for this reason that we will continue to recognize and encourage the pursuit of excellency in the conduct of our business. To advance this ideal pursuance of excellency, we are putting efforts to revolutionize our Service Excellence Awards and the creation of an industry-wide staff service excellence recognition system to achieve our objective. We will continue to put more efforts in ensuring that tourism visitor information ecosystem functions effectively and efficiently. This we shall do working together with our industry association and bodies. Our efforts for excellency has resulted in the establishment of our quality assurance scheme through the star grading system for accommodations, meetings, exhibitions, and special events. This system has realized our objective of reducing the cost burden on small tourism enterprises and encourage greater conformity to quality standard in tourism. Since integrating the program with the online application process in January 2018, 1,529 accommodation and meeting establishments apply for and benefited from 80 to 90% discount on their grading assessment fees. The department is confident that this number will grow. The existence of a vibrant small business entrepreneur and skilled workforce is vital for sustainable tourism development. Not much will be realized without an investment in the development of appropriate skills in the tourism industry. As part of our expanded public works program, we have implemented niche skills development initiatives targeting youth, and we are proud that our investment continues to bear fruit. We have prioritized youth development, and the department is now effectively implementing 8 youth skills development programs nationwide, leaving a dent on the scourge of unemployment and consequential social strife. Some of these programs are your National Youth Chiefs Training Program. It's now its 3rd year. A total of 1,867 have benefited from this program. The international placement elements of the program exposes South African youth to culinary skills in French, Portuguese, Italian cuisine, and others, has over the last 2 years successfully placed 600 students. The other program is your wine service training program. It's a 3-year training program, and 300 unemployed youth, people from Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Northern Cape, and Gauteng have enrolled. The other program is your tourism blue flag beach stewards. The training program is aimed at improving tourism facilities and services offered at 50 blue flag beaches across KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape and Eastern Cape. 300 learners have enrolled as a beach stewards, and an additional 25 beaches will be added to the 50 in the next 3 years. This program will not be successful without the participation of industry, our hotels, B&Bs, restaurants and guest houses, and our NGOs and social enterprises who continue to welcome our youth to get practical training. The next one is your National Tourism Career Expo. This year we will once again hold this expo in Mafikeng from the 19th to the 21st of September 2019 in partnership with CatSita. The NTCE is the biggest excursion targeting educators, high school learners, TVET colleges, university students, unemployed graduates, with the sole aim of promoting tourism as a career choice and as a platform for the diverse subsectors in the tourism industry to promote themselves as the employer of choice. Last year's expo attracted 6,678 young people and 303 educators. And our target this year is to reach 10,000 youth and 500 educators directly. We do this program because we know that it is only through awareness, education, persuasion, enticement that we can bring back our youth from streets of hopelessness to make them pioneers in building and growing South Africa together. We are investing in the skills of young people, our women, and importantly, those in the employ of the state, because it is only through the acquisition of relevant skills that we can have a state that is as capable to deliver on its developmental mandate. South Africa continues to claim share as a global competitor destination for variety of small, medium, and mega events, be it business, sports, and lifestyle. The hosting of major events continues to be an effective tool to promote, position, and brand our country as a destination of choice. South African tourism serves to market the country as a tourism destination of choice, as well as the world-class business events destination, and will continue promoting meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions through the National Convention Bureau, as well as quality assurance through the Tourism Grading Council of South Africa. We need to consolidate and tap to the energy and innovation of our people and make them partners in driving the culture of travel and contributing to the products offering a domestic trip. We will, in this financial year, launch and implement a national tourism event strategy and plan anchored by a number of catalytic initiatives, support successful bidding and hosting of local, provincial, and national events outside the traditional meetings and conferences. This strategy will complement the work that has been done by the Department of Arts, Sports and Culture, our provincial tourism authorities and municipalities in supporting vibrant and viable leisure lifestyle, food, music, cultural, films, conference, and events, which are driving domestic tourism and promoting social cohesion. To enhance community-based tourism, the department launched a program to promote creation of inclusive tourist destination aimed at bringing community-based tourism in the bigger part of enhancement of visitor experience. In the previous year, the department concluded feasibility study for community-based tourism in the following site: Puchaditaba in Free State, Pilansberg to Madike corridor in Northwest, Vilakazi Prince Street in Soweto, Gauteng, Kula village outside St. Lucia in KwaZulu-Natal, and Emazizini in the northern Drankesberg in KwaZulu-Natal. We must live to our infamous claim that tourism is everybody's business. The millions of South Africans must be owners, consumers, and beneficiaries of their country's tourism success story. After all, that is what domestic tourism should be all about. We can only do that if we inculcate and harness a culture of travel in our people so that they feel, see, touch the benefits of tourism in their country. We shall continue to engage both the public and the private sector, sports, religious bodies, social club, stockfels, to come ride with us as we continue to instill a culture of exploring our country. The opportunity provided by our 6 bordering countries should be fully exploited as well by those of our community staying at and around the border towns. Our success will be measured on how best we offer tourist products, the most pristine destination and priceless experience, both locally and internationally. We have characterized the new dawn as an era of doing things differently. We will toil vigorously and laboriously to intensify domestic tourism, particularly among rural and the working people of our country. Our aim is to demystify this notion that tourism is an elitist activity and therefore it's aimed at a certain section of our society. We want to conclude by saying it is a moment like this when we revisit our thoughts from Kwame Nkrumah when he said, those who
Thank
will
you
judge
very
us
much,
merely by the
Honorable
heights of the we achieve
Deputy Minister.
must do so by remembering the depths where we've started.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you. Honorable Mahau. Honorable Gumbi.
Honorable Minister and guests, we know the tourism sector is a big job creator. It's where the chefs, the waiters, the cleaners, the barmen, tour guide operators, and many cab drivers get their jobs from. And I think my colleague, Honorable Manny de Freitas, has explained it succinctly. It is why, Honorable Minister, the Democratic Alliance is carefully watching the motives that you propose when you propose the Kill Airbnb bill, cloak-named as the Draft Tourism Amendment Bill. Why do you want to kill Airbnb when the company delivers innovation? Why do you want to kill Airbnb when they actually level the playing field and create new jobs and new wealth and help the small players? Who are you working for when you want to kill Airbnb? Is it not, it's certainly not the small guest house owner, the cook at the bed and breakfast, who waited a year to get their job. It's not the cleaner at the small boutique hotel, who feeds their entire family from their job. Have you ever personally used Airbnb yourself? Or the Honorable Deputy Minister? Or even any other booking portal such as booking.com? Or is it only luxury 5-star hotels that you use? Minister, in your hunger to kill Airbnb, we will stand up against you and defend the hundreds of thousands of jobs you also plan to destroy in the process. This brings me to my second urgent matter. That is the cost of grading and places of accommodation and the structure of the grading council. It is simply wrong that it costs on average 5,200 Rand to have a star grading for a place. Imagine this. You have a young entrepreneur in some of these dorpies that the chairperson was speaking about, of the portfolio committee, who's got a home and wants to start out a small guest house, a lodge, or an inn, with very little money in their pocket. This government should not burden them with that cost annually. Such high costs do nothing for inclusion, empowerment, and new business. It does nothing to level the playing field and create new jobs. We need to move to a system of free grading, especially for small businesses, so that they can receive the benefits that are associated and that come from grading. Ultimately, we can create new businesses and jobs in the tourism industry. But we need suitable regulation and not making the playing fields even more uneven. Where we govern in the Western Cape, our policies do exactly that. 1 in 10 employees in the Western Cape work in the tourism industry. It contributes more than 25 billion rand to the provincial economy. So, Honorable Minister, we won't let you kill jobs in this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Makubela.
Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister, honorable members, guests in the gallery, fellow South Africans, I greet you all. The success of tourism as an economic driver in South Africa depends on the presence of policies and strategies that cater for the needs of the sector. The reality is that tourism has occurred in South Africa, but benefits have only accrued to few citizens. The tourism industry is still confronted by structural and economic imbalances of the past, and that's the fact. Given the historical context of structural exclusion from the tourism sector, it is imperative that government intervenes in supporting the full potential of the emerging tourism enterprises to achieve the objectives of inclusive growth and shared economic development. When we talk about economic transformation, we refer to the fundamental change in the structure, in the systems, in institutions, and patterns of ownership. This change can only be achieved by the control of the economy in the favor of the poor, who are blacks and they are female in their majority. House Chair, the Department of Tourism has been allocated a budget of our 2.3 billion. This very budget is allocated to empower the department to provide effective domestic and international marketing of South Africa as a tourist destination of choice. It must also enhance cooperation and coordination between all spheres of government in developing and managing tourism. In supporting this appropriated budget, Honorable Minister, our question is whether this share of the allocation can address all the above that has been stated and transform the tourism sector. And our answer is a big no. We believe that the allocation share for tourism is not adequate enough to address all the above. We must also, in the same vein, commend the department for implementing programs such as programs that promote employment creation for youth, women, and those that were previously disadvantaged. The impact of the programs include the hospitality program targeting a wide variety of youth and women, the National Chefs Program that was implemented in all 9 provinces, the Food Safety Quality Assurer Program, and the training for the resource efficiency, which was implemented in Northwest, Northern Cape, and Mpumalanga in the financial year. We are pleased as the Portfolio Committee on Tourism with what the department has been able to achieve with its limited resources or limited budget. It has established an important branch dealing with destination management. This has brought a focus on what the economy needs to do to be competitive. The developing and completing of the 4 tourism precincts master plans is commendable. What is needed now is the investment to be channeled into these tourism precincts. We are encouraged that the department will continue to implement the Tourism Transformation Fund that brings new entrants in the tourism businesses. However, Minister, we must indicate that the Tourism Transformation Fund in its current model may not radically address challenges of transformation in the sector. We urge you, Minister, to ensure that these transformation programs serve as the purpose for which they have been conceptualized for. It does not help us to introduce such wonderful programs and yet set impossible qualifying criteria. This defeats the transformation agenda. We also note that the performing indicators with regards to international tourist arrivals have been of a concern in the country. When the country slipped from performing above international average to a downward spiral in terms of tourist arrivals. Minister, we urge South African tourism to conclude the India-China strategy to harness these largest and fastest growing markets. We also look forward to a focused approach towards harnessing tourism growth within the African continent. If the intended increase of international tourists of about 21 million by 2030 is to be achieved. The Airbnbs have changed the way tourists book accommodation while on vacation. Instead of booking in traditional hotels, tourists now book apartments, homestays, or room facilities at a cheaper price through Airbnbs. That's a fact. And the recent developments where Airbnbs are adding flights in their offering is also noticed. These developments threaten the traditional jobs in the tourism industry, such as hotels, front desk, travel agents, tourist guides, tourism information officers, just to name a few. These technological advances are good in that they make bookings easier. However, government needs to develop an immediate response to this growing phenomenon through reimagining tourism jobs to provide training for future tourism jobs. This calls for partnership between government and the private sector. House Chair, I conclude this afternoon my submission to this budget debate by reminding ourselves as South Africa that South Africa belongs to all its people. And we, the people, belong to one another. South Africans must be ambassadors of their own country. It is disappointing to see and hear an honorable member coming here and not advancing their own country, but talking down on their own country, like what the Honorable Sithole did. We should fall in love with our country's beauty and diversity. This will encourage us to discover more about our country, and we are guaranteed to feel a sense of pride when we do so. Honorable members, we in the ANC support this budget vote 33. We support this budget vote 33, honorable members, because we are fully aware and cognizant of the work ahead of the ANC-led administration. We understand that this budget, Honorable Minister, will be a tool that you can use to achieve the set targets and the strategies that are there to grow South Africa and take South Africa forward. Hence, we stand on this podium and support budget vote 33. Thank you, guys. Halebucha na cancer inkom.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, I'm just making a plea. I understand you've got the right, there is howling, but don't howl that the minister must not hear what the member is trying to drive through. You can do whatever that you are doing, but I was just saying you must limit what you are doing. Honorable Shaikh Imam.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. The National Freedom Party welcomes the report of the Department of Tourism, vote 33, tabled here today. Let me at the very outset say the National Freedom Party will support this report. Thank you. Now, it is also our view that it is not the sole responsibility of the Department of Tourism to ensure that tourists visit South Africa. There are many other departments that need to work in unison with the Department of Tourism. And some of them are like the Department of Home Affairs, have a role to play in terms of that. In fact, local government, even at a municipal level, in terms of the attractions in their own respective areas, should play a more pivotal role, and that indeed will help the national department, particularly in ensuring that we can advance the cause of getting more and more tourists visiting South Africa. Now, the argument of Airbnb, it's a twofold thing. Yes, indeed, it may provide cheaper accommodation, but I think clearly we must be honest about this. While it might, to a certain extent, create cheaper accommodation, it is certainly going to cost you jobs. Let us be honest about that. Because tourists that have been visiting, for various reasons, have been choosing to live in recognized hotels and bed and breakfast. Now that you have the Airbnb, which is not properly controlled, given the circumstances in the country, particularly with the high crime rate and the safety challenges, there is a risk attached to tourists that are visiting South Africa that may want to stay in the Airbnb. Now let me tell you, I like what my colleague from the DA said, something about 1 in 10 jobs in the city of Cape Town or Western Cape is created by this Western Cape government. What he's failing to tell you is the number of jobs that were affected and the number of tourists that dropped visiting South Africa, particularly the city of Cape Town, because of the water crisis alone. Now take responsibility for that. Now it's not only the city of Cape Town, but take responsibility where you also fail. Don't let it just be make it look and appear as if that the department is failing, because you fail them as well. Now which tourist is going to want to come here? You get to the airport, you want to use a toilet and there's no water. Which tourist is going to win? Be realistic about it. You failed tourism. That is what you have basically done. Now, there are some challenges in the department which we are hoping, Minister, Deputy Ministers, you will deal with. You'll deal with them appropriately and timeously so that you can overcome particularly the issue of your CEO and other acting members in the department, I think. But I think what it calls for, if all of us to get together in the interest of this country to create jobs, rather than going out there grandstanding and giving the negative publicity which the media is selling. And for that reason, it's affecting tourism into South Africa.
Member.
We belong to this country. Let's love this country. Let's be honest.
Thank
the National Freedom Party supports
Thank you. Honorable Gallo.
Honorable Chair, the Department of Tourism is the prime of the South African tourism market. Other role players in the sector, such as Brand South Africa, South African Tourism Grading Council of South Africa, Brand Experience and Visitor Experience teams, have in their various roles made great strides to contribute to South Africa as the most reliable, appealing, resilient, and competitive destination for tourism. The department's annual performance plan makes a number of generic achievable targets. It wishes to register in 2019-2022 plan. This is predominantly anchored in the NDP. The President's comments in his SONA addresses and the department's strategy on tourism. For example, by opening the tourism market both domestically and internationally, it hopes to attract foreign investment, create jobs, indict an inclusive economy, and boost our economic growth. Chair, the reality is this. Growth in tourism is also dependent on international variables, such as growth in foreign markets. SA Tourism notes that growth in foreign markets will crowd in spending increase the consumer purchasing power, resulting in foreign travelers coming to South Africa. We need to create new routes to expand our tourism footprints. The US route must be explored. Our World Heritage sites must have ambassadors throughout the world. South African tourism intends at boosting the base of tourism by 5 million arrivals, trips during 2017-2021. We therefore need to work tirelessly to address visa challenges, especially the visa processing challenges in India, China, New Zealand, and in Nigeria. There is also a need to relax some of our visa requirements to attract foreign investment and ease the cost of doing business. Government must deal with issues of policy certainty, water security, wildlife protection, and personal security. The various figures in South Africa or South African tourism annual performance plan must be underpinned by a cutting-edge infrastructure investment. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kronberg.
Ramping up our international tourist arrivals is the key to unlock our country's economic potential and to expand opportunities to many more of our citizens. Hence, it is very disappointing that our 2018-2019 international arrivals have dropped by 0.6% compared to 2017-2018. Included in this figure is a decline of 5.7% from Europe, where a strong euro can buy you an exotic dream holiday in our country at attractive currency rates, and a close to 1% drop in our market of great potential, Asia. SA Tourism mentions 5 factors that have impacted negatively on our ability to attract international arrivals. With determined political will, all but one can be fixed. They are, firstly, water shortages, but we have decisively defeated day zero in Cape Town and increased our resiliency to climate change. Our overseas advertising can easily turn this into a positive attractor. 2, our wildlife interaction is seen as inappropriate at best and shocking at worst. The tourism benefits flowing from wildlife best practice internationally far outweigh the alternatives. 3, there's still room to improve our visa regime. And 4, negative reporting about expropriation without compensation impacts on international arrivals. We need to settle concerns sensibly and market this settlement effectively overseas. Fears about safety and security is the 5th and toughest issue to address, but it does illustrate the point that tourism is fundamentally impacted by this and other hard realities and challenges in our country, like local governments, arts and culture, and transport. This is why the DA has always argued passionately for an interministerial committee that can jointly tackle the degradation of our most iconic tourism destinations, indispensable in this age of TripAdvisor. The best example of this lack of interdepartmental cooperation is the Howick Falls. Howick is the only town in South Africa which has a major waterfall in its CBD. 250,000 people used to visit this spot every year, but crime, potholed roads, public drunkenness, littering, drag racing, and other X-rated activities has blighted this tourist mecca. To make things worse, the conservancy area leading down the gorge of the falls is degraded by animals being slaughtered in the sanctuary, fires, the bridge being stolen, and the heritage stone path destroyed. Inevitably, business has declined by 40%, while the number of visitors has declined by a quarter. In desperation, 750 local residents have petitioned council who failed to act at all, blandly saying, "There is no money." The SAPs, in turn, have refused to respond, claiming that illegal activities are a municipal issue. Collectively, every department washes its hands of the problem as another prime tourist destination falls into disrepair and decay, crushing jobs as it stumbles.
Thank you very much.
We have to do better than this, Minister. I thank you.
Honorable Papa, take the podium.
Honorable House Chair, Minister of Tourism and Deputy Minister of Tourism, Deputy Ministers present, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, members of the Portfolio Committee on Tourism, members of Parliament, Board of South African Tourism, officials of the department and SAT, our guests, South Africans. The debate on Vote 33 tourism comes 62 days after 2019 national and provincial general elections, after which the people of South Africa endorsed the African National Congress as a preferred party to lead South Africa, and this has happened since 1994. Siyabulela kubantu boMzantsi Afrika sithi nangamso. Singumbutho we-African National Congress sibuya kwiphulo ebelingena umzi nomzi sijonga imeko abantu belizwe loMzantsi Afrika abaphila phantsi kwazo. Sibavile bekhala ngentswelangqesho kulutsha, bekhala ngokungabi nalwazi ngeendlela zokuqala amashishini nokungazi ukuba imisebenzi yabo yezandla bangayithengisa kobani beyithengisa phi, ingakumbi abo baphuma kumaphandle ezilalini, that is rural areas. The answer to the above concerns are there in the 5-year tourism strategic plan. Mhlali ngaphambili obekekileyo, ndima apha njengommeli kaKhongolose ndisithi ndimvile umongameli welizwe xa esithi kwintotho yakhe yobume besizwe isebe lezokhenketho nearhente yalo maliququzelele ukuba kweli lizwe sihanjelwe ngabakhenkethi abazizigidi ezingama-21 ngomnyaka ka-2030 abavela kumazwe angaphandle. Siyavuma siyi-African National Congress ukuba oku kunganegalelo elincomekayo kwiqoqosho lweli lizwe as outlined in the 2030 vision. That tourism is one of the key drivers of employment and economic growth. As the ANC, we fully support the 2019-2020 annual performance plan and budget allocation of tourism as tabled by the Minister. Also mandating the Portfolio Committee to do its oversight role in ensuring that the set objectives and targets are met and there is value for money. The Portfolio Committee is concerned about the slow pace in transforming the tourism industry, resulting in difficulty for emerging and black-owned tourism enterprises to do business and access funding. Honorable Chairperson, as the committee, we appreciate that the department, as led by the Minister of Tourism, is committed to cooperate with other departments and to coordinate other stakeholders in rebranding and repositioning our country to be the South Africa we want and to remain a destination of choice. The collaboration will yield good results by having all role players taking center stage in the development of a tourist visitor-friendly, better South Africa and a better world. Our appreciation also goes to the Tourism Transformation Fund that will advance an inclusive participation and sustainability in the tourism sector, particularly by supporting emerging tourism enterprises owned by women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Sitsho sonke sithi ilizwe lelethu netourism yeyethu sonke. We also support the program of enterprise development on incubators focusing in our townships, small towns, and villages, such that those that were previously disadvantaged are empowered. Honorable Chair, the We Do Tourism campaign, coordinated by South African Tourism, encourages all of us to be tourism ambassadors. The campaign yielded good results in 2018 in terms of the total number of visits on domestic travel, regardless of the negative economic climate of 2018. Mhlali ngaphambili, xa sidatela enzulwini sisithi senza ukhenketho singabemi boMzantsi Afrika, sisabela iphulo likaMongameli Ramaphosa elithi Thuma Mina. Ukwenza nokukhuthaza ucoceko kwindawo esihlala kuzo, ukukhusela abakhenkethi hayi ukubakhuthuza khona ukuze baphinde babuye batyale imali kweli lizwe kutsho kuvuleke amathuba emisebenzi. Sincedisa urhulumente ekuhambiseni umyalezo ofanayo wobuthandazwe nobuntu kubantu beentlanga zonke. Ukukhuthaza ulutsha uba kwezokhenketho kukho amathuba emisebenzi afana nokushishina, ukubonisa ubugcisa nenkcubeko, ukuhambisa abakhenkethi nokubonisa izakhono zokupheka. Tourism initiatives are made possible in rural areas. An example is a community initiative of Tenza, a village in Ward 22 Mbashe, Willowvale in the Eastern Cape. A village that is near Tenza Beach with 27 households registered in the homestays accommodation program. And their youth having camping sites with art exhibition stands close to the beach. They only need the department and interested organizations in business to come closer. In the Northwest Province, unemployed graduates in Seularo in Maikeng are running a Kwapele Tours and Safari. This is also a tourism SMME initiative that seeks your attention as the department to take them to another level. These initiatives are all over the country. These are employment opportunities. The ANC encourages the political principals in the tourism to continue lobbying and influencing for geographic spread of business events to benefit small towns, as SAT is mandated to implement the event strategy. We are aware, Minister, that tourism can never be your journey alone. Sister departments, provincial counterparts, local government, and business are your partners. The committee discourages any form of negative media coverage, which can be a threat to the tourism industry. A strategy of many communicators with same message is encouraged. We also acknowledge the dedication and commitment displayed by our parliamentary staff in facilitating and writing a report that was unanimously adopted by all members in the committee. Let us continue working together as a team with a Kauleza spirit of the president to take this country forward. In tourism, we are a family and we are one. The ANC fully supports this budget. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Tato. We now call the Honorable, the Minister of Tourism.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Ga ke simolle ka modulasetulo ke re dumelana le wena ntate re Supramahuma pelo ka gore re tlo tswalla pele re be re ke re ire ka mo re simolotseng teng fa re lebella metsana le metsana e le reng re ile ra gona gore re sebetse ko teng ke bua ka ga Mamaila ko motsaneng mo re na le Namakwa Lodge e le no badudi ba mo ba bereka ka ra lodge le bona ba benefitile ka ra lodge so re tlo go ira yalo le ko qoqwa re irile yalo e lodge re na le yona e le gore e owniwa ke badudi ba ka moga ka ga ntweng go ga twatwa so re tla nne re tsamaya re go baagi ba South Africa re tla nne re fitla metse le metsana re tla gotle le matauship tsa rona re tlo go ira gore botlhe le bona ba be part ya tourism ke tle gore Honorable De Vries I received a draft report from board of SAT yesterday, and I've requested urgently to receive the final report with recommendation to deal with the matters of the CEO. And once I receive it, I will deal with it within a short period of time because that is important, and I'll also include timeframes for them to be able to finalize the matter. And again, Honorable De Vries, if you look at the April 2019 figures, we had 4% increase actually compared to April 2018. March was low, but April, we recovered. It was because of the holidays last year, which were in March, the Easter holidays, and this year they were in April. Babu Sithole, sonke sinalo ilungelo lokuthi siphakamise ikhaya lethu. awuthi mawumzali kunonto engalunganga ekhaya uhambe ume ngaphandle uthi abantwana bami bamoshila uyenza njalo ngoba abantu bagxeka ikhaya lakho babheka ikhaya lakho bathi kanti kulapha so amazwe wonke mawasibhekile bathatha lokhu thina sikushoyo njengabaholi noma ukweliphi iqembu mayingabe usukuma uthi hayi sinenkinga umemeza ngaphandle bazoza njani la ekhaya ngoba siqeda lemisebenzi esifunayo asizameni ukuthi sibeni asithi fihlani izinto but asithini sikhulumeni ngokuba responsible ngibuye ngikhulume noGumbi Honorable Gumbi factually the grading discounts through grading incentives are as follows 80% for non-TOMSA members 90% for TOMSA so fanele sifunde siyazi ukuthi sonke sisafunda on this
Point of order, Chair.
Sizokwazi.
Honorable Minister can hold for a while. What's your point
Thank
of
you.
order, member?
The minister is speaking directly to a member and not through you. Chair, thank you.
Another point of order, Honorable. Continue, Minister.
Through you, Chairperson, honorable members, I'm responding to a debate that members have raised issues. That's why I'm making reference to them. Learn the rules of the debate. In terms of TOMSA, honorable member Gumbi, you raised the issues. That's why sikufundisa ukuthi iTOMSA inayo discount for laba abanye. So ayikuthi iyabavalela ngaphandle. So there is benefit for non-TOMSA members. There's 90%, 80%. For so ayivalelanga abantu grading system the way it has been done. It's working very well. It's inclusive. It ensures that those who want to participate can participate. Asibuyele kuloku okukhulumile ukuthi sibulala ama-A and BNB. Namhlanje ekseni bengiselanga ngivakashele ilanga lethemba. Ikaya, it's a project that is there, done, linked with communities that are doing Airbnb. If I am killing Airbnbs, why would I visit? Let me explain what the bill intends to do. The bill is intending to regulate homestays. We have a responsibility as government to ensure safety and security, the quality of standard, and what we are offering. If somebody has a bad experience about South Africa, they don't say, but South Africa can manage tourism. That's why we have to make sure that the quality of the product and the services that we offer to our tourists who are coming to the country, it's excellent, and they can be brand ambassadors, because one tourist that speaks bad about South Africa, it's one too many, and then we can afford, because we are building a tourism that is inclusive to all. So they are going to continue to benefit. They will register with Airbnbs. It's not going to be stopped. We are not stopping technology, but we want to make sure that it is regulated. It's within the issues. Honorable Krambok, we need to learn how to handle water crisis. I think you made a reason. It's one of the examples. Cape Town could have managed the water crisis communication better. The entire South Africa suffered. If you look at the stats, the entire South Africa suffered because the communication was so badly managed. Tourists thought the whole country has a water crisis. So that's what we must know. The communication was managed at City of Cape Town, and badly so. That we must take responsibility. Angithathe leli thuba ngibonge bonke abaparticipate kule budget debate. Ke re ke a leboga na cancer. Hobane participation le contribution ya lena e tla re thusha gore re kgone gore re oketse tse ile re ntse ding le di boletsa ra gonna gore go di araba re tlo di tsentšha mo ile re mmereko wa rona ke a leboga na cancer. Thank you.
Honorable members, please allow me to announce the following. There will be many plenaries tomorrow on the following votes. Vote 6, International Relations and Cooperation. Vote 26, Energy. Vote 10, Public Service and Administration. And vote 17, Social Development. Thank you very much. The House is adjourned. Thank you very much. How do you